Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Goddess Victory Nikke video, and we have Delta. And she's 40 seconds. Peace. Okay, alright, no. Well, let's talk about her. Let's talk about her. Okay, design, absolutely peak. She looks great. Also, I've been a Delta fan since like the very beginning of the game, and I've been waiting for an SSR for a long time, and I think a lot of people in the community have been waiting for an SSR version of Delta, and design-wise, they delivered. I mean, like, everybody likes ninjas. She looks amazing. Definitely have a lot of physics going on here. Let's watch that ninja again. I mean, she's just cool, honestly. Like, she's got the big scroll on her back. She's got swords. She's got a big MG. Everything looks good. Like, there's no aspect of her that is like bad design, other than her kit. And I want to make it clear that just because a unit is 40 seconds doesn't actually mean they're like dead on arrival. You know, we have had ones such as, like Mast, the made version of Mast, and to a lesser degree, Anchor that goes with her. Every now and then we do get 40-second cooldowns that do work, but they have to have something really specific, and they're generally paired with another unit that's like really, really strong, and maybe they're just not using their burst. So let's take a look at this. So unfortunately, she doesn't really do that. You know, Delta doesn't check those boxes that she's going to need to. So she is a burst 2 defender with an MG. She is code water, ammo capacity of 300, reload of 2.5 seconds. Now, skill 1 is Ninjutsu Acid Bomb, activates when entering full burst, affects all enemies. This is probably her best skill. So Ninjutsu Acid Bomb makes damage taken go up 12% for 15 seconds. This is great. This is a great debuff. So you're just going to do 12% more damage with all of your team. So damage taken on a boss, or any enemy for that matter, is going to be even better than damage up. Because damage taken means that just no matter who is hitting that boss, no matter how it's taking damage, it is going to take more damage. So that is probably the best possible debuff in the game, and like even better than like any buff you could possibly get. So, I mean, we're starting off with a banger here. And then it says activates when using her burst skill, affects self, attack goes up 15% for 10 seconds. So when anybody uses a burst skill, she's going to get a 15% attack buff. The thing is, she's a defender, and it's just affecting her. She's the lowest attack in the game out of attacker, supporter, defender. So it's going to be a pretty small attack buff, and it's only on her. So that's kind of mid. And then it says activates when using burst skill, affects enemies within attack range nearest the crosshair. Ninjutsu Hyper Acid Bomb, damage taken goes up 8% for 10 seconds. So it just means that enemy is now going to take a total of 20% extra damage, which is honestly pretty insane. That's really, really, really good. Okay, so skill 1, we like it. Okay, moving on to skill 2. Oh, look at that, we have a whole extra slide. All right, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. You guys have heard me complain about this before. I feel like it's just clumsy design when you get these huge wall of text kits, okay? Keep it on one slide. And I think this is maybe the first one that we've had literally 3 slides, a full image for every single skill. Shift up, come on. What are you doing here? This is just silly. And the thing is, on skill 2, this is like a steaming pile of garbage here. I gotta be honest. It does something entirely different based on what you have in your squad, which could be cool, but there's also no way to change this, okay? So activates at the start of the battle. Effects differ according to squad formation. Activates only the corresponding effect, okay? So affects self if there are no other defender allies in the squad, okay? So if she's the only defender, you're going to get this effect. Creates a shield equal to 12% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds. Okay, so she's going to give herself an HP shield. This is going to be a pretty beefy shield. Again, she is a defender, so she's going to be kind of beefy anyway. And then she taunts all enemies continuously. All right, so at the start of the battle, she's just immediately going to get a shield, and she's going to be taunting. that can be dangerous, but it looks like she's actually going to survive through taunting pretty well. And then we have another effect down here. Activates when performing 200 normal attacks, affects self while in attract status, so while she is taunting. Creates a shield equal to 12% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds. So she gets it at the start of the battle, and then every time she does 200 normal attacks, which this is good. It doesn't have to be 200 hits, just as long as she attacks 200 times. And with an MG, that's going to happen very rapidly. She's going to make another shield. So really, really good. So, I mean, if you want to be taunting, this is really good survivability, really good taunting, okay? Taunting can be risky, however. Okay, but there is another side to this. So what if you have a defender on the team? So if you have another defender on the team, ninjutsu camouflage prevents self from being the target of a single target attacks. So now, instead of taunting, she cannot be targeted. So for 10 seconds, loses the effect when the caster takes damage. So if there's a big AoE that would just hit everything, then she loses this effect. Now she can be targeted like normal. And then it says recovers 11% of attack damage as HP continuously. Okay, so for 10 seconds, as long as no big AoE hits her, as long as she's in the camouflage, she is going to recover 11% of HP continuously. So that is going to be, you know, big heal. She's going to like heal herself up a lot. Good, but it's only healing her, okay? Which isn't totally true later on, as we'll see. And then it says affect self while ninjutsu injection, ninjutsu injection every 4 seconds. Man, why is it so hard to say? Okay, so for 4 seconds, accumulates HP recovery during the activation duration, after which all allies are healed for the accumulated amount. Effect 1. The maximum accumulated amount is equal to 165% of the caster's final attack. And effect 2, once the duration ends, all allies are healed for the accumulated recovery amount. Okay, so she can't go above 165% of her final attack. Final attack, at least this is good because, again, she's going to have a low base attack stat as a defender. But final attack, it's going to count everything that she's going to get during the fight that will increase her attack, like gear and buff and stuff like that. So that's cool. And she is going to heal all allies with this effect. This is pretty major heals, okay? This is very, very significant heals for herself and the whole squad. Really good. Now, this would be super cool, honestly, if you could go back and forth between like taunting and then camo, taunting and camo. It might actually be pretty busted because, you know, she could like take all the hits, and then if she's finally getting low, then she would be untargetable and could heal herself and heal the whole team. It would be kind of insane, but there's no way to do that, okay? Either you have a defender or you don't have a defender. So either she's always going to be taunting or she's always going to be doing the camo heal thing. And that just makes this way less useful. Cool idea, but it just doesn't. I mean, it would be cool if you could go back and forth, but you can't do that. You can't do that. So skill 2 is honestly kind of a bust. These, I mean, even in isolation, they're okay skills, but you know, maybe you want to taunt in certain situations, and I think this is largely a PvP kit. Because, you know, that's mostly where you want to be taunting. Healing is more for either way. This one, this is, you know, great in PvE or PvP. Probably even better in PvP though. I mean, I don't know. Actually, it's great anywhere. The skill 1 is honestly just solid no matter what. Okay, let's take a look at her burst. So we already discussed that she's a 40-second cooldown. Really disappointing. But in some situations, 40-second cooldowns can be usable if the unit is good enough, if they came with a partner that they alternate back and forth with, or they synergize really well with something, or if you have them in arena and you're just not worried about ever trying to burst again, right? Because generally you only burst once in any kind of arena battle. So again, another thing that I think is pushing her towards PvP. Affects all allies. Distributed damage goes up 20% for 10 seconds, and attack goes up 15% of caster's attack for 10 seconds. So 15% of caster's attack is a pretty minor attack buff. Again, she has low attack stat. It does buff all allies. Distributed damage up 20%. Cool. Distributed damage is kind of niche. I think what was our last one? Bunny Milk, I think, does distributed damage. So you could pair this with any other distributed damage ones. It's going to buff herself as well as other allies. It's probably just, I don't know, it's okay. And then affects all enemies, deals 170% of final attack as distributed damage. Okay, kind of a nuke there, but it's probably not going to be that much damage realistically, because 170%, you know, of a burst 2 defender isn't like incredible. And then affects self while in attract status. So if there is no other defender on the team, the next shield is going to be 20% stronger. So 20% of HP for 10 seconds, and affects self while in ninjutsu injection status. So if there are other defenders, maximum accumulated ninjutsu goes up 20% for 10 seconds. So you get 20% more healing. I just don't see this being useful, you know? I could see her getting onto some PvP teams. I just feel like PvP is so dead in Nikke. And that's not to say that nobody cares about PvP, but realistically, just most people don't. Most people don't. I don't know. It's hard for me to see Delta being really relevant in any situation, which is really disappointing. I think we've been waiting so long for an SSR Delta, and her design is super cool. I mean, she is such a badass looking ninja. I'm probably still going to pull for a copy of her just because I like Delta and I'm excited about it. And the burst animation is great, but I'm definitely not going to go for maximum break. So advice for you guys, probably just skip. However, anniversary is coming up, and if you are set on gold tickets, you can feel free to kind of like pull without feeling guilty about it, because you can just use all your gold tickets, okay? So you need 200 for each unit that you're going to grab with gold tickets. We'll probably get 2 anniversary units, so at minimum you're going to want 400 gold tickets. More if you want to get max limit break and more copies and stuff like that. So, just a little thing to keep in mind. Delta looks really cool. If you're set, then go for it. Waifu over meta, as always. I'll be doing a poll video for her. And I don't know. Shift up, you let us down. I don't know. All right. I don't know if I was crashing out too much during this video. It's upsetting. It's upsetting, Our girl. I was so excited. So let me know if you're planning to poll for Delta, if there's something I missed about her. Like if you see like a really strong team that could potentially actually be really good with Delta for PvE, I would love to see it. Because I want her to be good just as much as the rest of you. All right, make sure you subscribe for more Nikke videos. I also stream every week, multiple times a week on both YouTube and Twitch. Discord link in the description below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.